to Focus DC. Wow, I'm your host, Kelly Kale, and today's topic is so dear to me, and I have a good girlfriend and mentor here to help us talk about this topic today. And that topic is how to overcome sexual abuse or any sort of abuse. And today I have with me a woman who inspired me so much that I've been dragging you here. Like I'm just still shocked. You here? Like, oh my goodness.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. I do want to say I hope everyone enjoyed their holiday and Happy New Year. It's 2020, so I hope y'all ready. Because if you're not, you better get ready. You know, you gotta get out here because Kelly is getting ready for the 2020. Now, from a woman's credible journey from foster homes to championship boxer, I have the IFBA Junior Featherweight Champion, Mrs. Lisa Too Furious, Miss Cohen. Welcome. I'm so excited. You know I'm so goofy.
I'm as excited as
And then you know I be goofy on the phone. I'm like, you sure? I said we had to work it out because, you know, your story from the first day I met you, I just became, I don't even know how to even call it because I have never known someone with a similar background to me. And that's what, you know, Focus DC is about. We try to let people know that you are not alone. You can think that you've been through the worst things in the world and you alone. And we sat at, we was at the boxing event, right? And they had all the champs there. She was the female champ there. And I mean, I just took to her. And when she told me about her book and I shared with you a little of my experience and what I did, the way, you know, she just embraced me, it was, you don't get that nowadays. You know, people be very judgmental and they kind of be standoffish, what you call it? Standoffish, you know, and you wasn't. You was just so sincere and you told me to finish my book, which has still been a hard journey for me to try to, you know, finish it. So, I mean, I'm just so excited because this topic, I don't even know if there's an answer to this topic. I'm searching. You know?
Well, I think there is. Actually, when I met you, you really gave me hope and joy because after they had asked me to come up and speak for a second on the stage, and I had just briefly spoke about what my advocacies were about and the fact that I work with kids in foster care and kids going through abuse and such, and that I had gone through it. And that I had written this book and so forth. And so when I went back to the bar and sat down with you, you were just like pouring your heart out to me, and that really made me feel great because a lot of times when I do speak in public, no matter what walk of life it is, whether it's a third grade girl or a country club wife, we've all been through the same thing, and that's a fact.
Wow. And that surprises me because I was so mesmerized about how, you know, when you start talking about, you know, becoming a boxer and why you did it. And then when I heard the age that she started, I was training with Floyd and I was 28 years old. I think I just had a light bulb or something. But I was telling him because he's a box trainer, that's something that I wanted to do. So, but everybody was telling me, you too old. So when I heard your story, because you came up and gave your speech, and then I'm in there researching, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this woman is me. Like, you know, without, you know, I was memorized. I just was like, wow. You know, that's something that I really wanted. And that's, I think, is that when it become being too fierce? Like, I love your cover. Your cover, your hot to see. This is my book. And just the whole phrase of being too fierce. People do get slandered for being too fierce. So,
Yeah. So being too fierce means two things to me. When I was boxing, my first trainer, Jean, gave me the name Too Fierce, Lisa
okay.
Too Fierce Foster. And I was Foster at the time. And as I moved up in the ranks, and they really don't call you your ring name until you get ranked.
Okay.
They're not gonna call you Lisa Too Fierce Foster if it's your first fight.
Right.
They're like, oh no, Lisa Foster,
Okay.
So you really have to earn your name. And yeah, this cover though, it means a lot to me because this photograph in the back here, this young little girl is me when I was growing up in foster care.
Wow.
And I actually at the time, they didn't really take pictures of us, the foster parents didn't. And I stole this picture out of my permanent records.
Cool.
When I got to look at it. So, and this was during my boxing career, and then this one was after my boxing career. So this is like, the full life up to this point.
But I mean, and it also have to do with your style of boxing, cause yeah, I love your style up in that ring. I've been watching.
DC all the way.
Yeah, it's my area. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
South Side. You
Yes.
live everywhere.
I did.
Oh my goodness, and it just inspired me. Like, wow. Like, I was about to come to that group home too, and I had an aunt
Oh,
that got me. Yeah, no, the group home, the foster. What was that the group?
Independent Living, Jones
That
and
was
Associates.
no, not when you got 17.
Which one?
Was that the one?
Oh, the McLeans or something like that?
No, the McLean was the foster home,
With
right?
Leisha's, yeah.
But it was the one that was in Southwest. What was that? That was the Independent Living.
Yes, that was in,
Oh,
that
okay.
was in Southeast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, it was a program. I think I was too young for that because you had to be
you
how
had to
old?
be 18.
They wanted to send me to a group home,
Yeah.
and that's where my aunt got me. So,
Okay.
to hear that you actually grew up, oh my goodness,
I went
Lisa.
to 13 different foster homes.
Oh,
Or
that's what I was gonna
placements,
ask
13
you.
different placements.
So in the beginning, with you and your four brothers, y'all was together at first,
Yes.
and then y'all got separated.
After the second foster home, we got separated. There were
Well, two
only
and
3
two.
left.
Oh,
There
it
was
was
only
three.
3 of us left, and then after the 4th one, there were only 2.
Because Anthony left first.
No, Winford.
No, Winford. Yeah, Winford
Yeah.
left first. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's the oldest, right?
Yeah.
And,
Their names
oh.
are different in the book, but yeah.
Okay, because I was like, hold on, I just memorized them names.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, but wow, so the abuse that you took, it was just crazy to me. And did that play a while you became
Well,
too
yeah.
fierce?
Well, how abuse is. You
Yeah.
just act like it isn't happening, and you just get on with your life and try to cope through it, and just kind of pretend like it doesn't exist, but in fact it really does. And you are just. I was a very depressed little girl. I was a very sad and depressed little girl. And the way that I guess, stayed on the positive side of things, I got involved in sports as soon as I could.
And you probably was good at every sport.
It was anything that made me sweat because it helped me to let out aggression.
Right, that's
So,
how I was. I always had A's in gym and, good with the tennis, volleyball. I loved to do that, but because of the stuff that was happening to me, I had this tendency of, I'm going to be this supermodel because models are pretty and I am ugly.
Oh, we
You know
lived
what I'm
the same life, honey, because
See?
I did the modeling thing, and
Really?
we have to do things to try to
To build up,
create something different than what we feel like we really are.
Right, because you wouldn't believe that I
But it's
created
really
that
you.
young.
But it's really you.
I was 7 years old, like, I'm going to be doing this. I would never thought that I would be actually have an LLC of a modeling school, who recently about to turn into an agency,
Wow.
and been doing this so long, and it's not even about the riches, it's about the young ladies I have helped.
Wow.
It has became to where my modeling is like a self-esteem building. That's just a plus, and I'm just the best in town with the elegancy and grace.
Beautiful.
Because DC models don't have that reputation.
Mm.
They have a bad reputation. I done traveled the world and had to find out that we had a bad name here. So I still teach the old school, elegance, grace, none of that grown to stuff. that smart stuff. And I get to be so good because I get to know these young ladies and I share with my experiences and I try to build them up. So I build them up so much inside when they go down the runway, my skills just, and I train them, they just be on point because their mind is there. And see, my mind was never there, even though I was always told at a young age I was pretty. I didn't feel that way. I felt used, I felt dirty, I felt ugly, and I used to just imagine myself, being a supermodel. Like,
Well, see, Kelly, at least you were told that you were pretty. I was never even told that. And if you, as you can read in my book, the first person that I can ever remember besides my brothers telling me that I was pretty was my school teacher. I went to a private school, and his name was Don, a white man, young white guy, and his name was Don. And he was like, "Wow, you are so pretty," and that shook me. I was like, "Whoa."
and how old was
He
you?
just said that. I was going to Flockman, I think I was in the second grade.
Oh,
So to
okay.
hear that from a white voice is the first person you're hearing it from. You've lived with all these black people all your life. What are you supposed to take from that? Especially when those black people are telling you another thing. This is not to, we all know about the color thing and all that stuff in our own communities.
Right.
But I had to learn that all women are not like, so I didn't like women that looked like me. I didn't
Really?
like myself because I thought that I was going to
I
have to
couldn't
be like
identify
these
that.
mean women that were treating me bad. And so it just takes one person. And when I met my counselor at Independent Living, and she was really
She was awesome.
yeah, she was.
She
was the one.
really awesome.
She was the one that really made the change in my
Because
head.
my heart just got a little softer. I'm telling you, your book, it has you being right there because, I felt better when she came along, like literally. And
You felt safe.
yeah, like I could feel that. And,
You could trust her.
even her energy, it's like, what was it? She just seen
Her
something
name was
in
Minto
you.
Clark. Her name was
Okay.
Minto Clark.
Ms. Clark,
and
yeah.
the one thing that she told me, she helped me one day. And when she told me one thing, it clicked in my head. She says, "Lisa, don't go in here telling all these girls or these people your stuff." Because, and at that moment, I realized
You listen.
she's not going to go tell my stuff.
Right.
And I could trust her. So when she's telling me not to do it, it made me trust her more about, I knew she wasn't going to do it. You feel me? And that, it just took that little bit.
That little bit.
And then one Thanksgiving, she took me home and another young lady at the Independent Living and let us spend Thanksgiving with her, she and her family. And I was like, wow. So to this day, I call her my mom.
Wow, yeah, and I get that in a lot of books. You end up calling them mom and
Yeah. All the foster parents.
yeah. Oh God, I can't stand them because the foster homes, the way they was brought up back then, they show favoritism. And then that guy, the one that they just love so much, that can't do no wrong.
Oh yeah.
I was in
Remember
that
him, huh?
situation.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I do not like him. I was in that situation.
And he was an abuser.
Wow,
He was an
and they praising him like, oh, he the best. I guess he been there since he was born
Since he
or
was
something.
before us. But the thing is this, and this is one thing that you could probably identify with. When I went to my foster mother about what he was doing to me,
Okay.
and it was happening from the time I was 5 to 7, and I went to her when I was 7. She brushed it off like it didn't happen, and I was getting whippings like every other day by her.
Yeah,
And
I see.
I didn't hear any screaming from him when I told
What
her
was going
this, so he got a pass.
Wow.
So then I read
And-
later on in my records that she reports it as she basically covered it for him.
What?
Yeah.
So, but because you
In my
never
records.
told nobody, because she had that same saying, y'all, when I first started the show, what happens in the house stays in the house. She just put that in you,
Pride
like
in me.
she
Yeah.
taught you that. And for her to tell you that, was that after you told her about what was going on or before?
Oh,
Or
she's always told us that when we first moved into the house.
Was that one of the reasons, or she just basically implanted that as soon as you come in?
Implanted
Don't
it
tell
as soon
nobody.
as we came in, because she knew what she was going to set out to do. And the other thing that I found out too is when we were talking about abuse, is that she didn't abuse my 2 brothers that were there.
I
There was
didn't
2 at that
understand
point.
why.
She didn't abuse
I
them.
didn't understand
I'm
that.
talking about physically. She abused them mentally and probably verbally, but she didn't abuse him physically. I was the only one catching that, and I didn't even find that out until I was an adult. Because I
Wow.
thought we all were getting it.
But why was that? Why would you pick the girl?
Because sometimes we're targets.
Yeah, true that. Most definitely. I was so shy and wouldn't go around people because they just ain't like me. They just figure, oh, she's up to something. So, I never took to women a lot. A lot of my males and my friends been males or queens.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
have a lot of queens I grew up with because, I can be myself around them.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
and you know what? Another thing is that I was what they consider a tomboy, and I was being accused of being gay because during that time, it was a big stigma on it then. But I was accused of being that because I was such a tomboy. But you know what? I was using my being a tomboy. That was my defense mechanism. That was to keep the guys off of me.
Right.
You feel me?
And
So like I had dealt with it for so long. So I was like, well, maybe if I'm one of the guys, they won't mess with me.
Wow, because my father used to always say, you should have been a boy, you should have been a boy. And I used to feel like, why
Well, they were
wasn't I
dealing.
a boy?
People were dealing with boys too.
Right. But
Trust
thank
me.
God my brother
Right.
didn't experience what me and my sister experienced.
Well,
And
that's good.
that was always the stereotype. I just feel like people sometimes put you through, I guess. I
I think
don't know.
you're super strong, and I think I commend you for having the show because there are people like still to this day who won't even mutter the words out of their mouths. They'll be in denial for their entire lives.
Yeah, they will actually go to their grave with it.
Yep.
I'm talking about in my family is real deep,
Mhm.
and the reason why I came out with it is because it was still happening.
Wow.
And then you got people looking at each other like y'all can't look at each other. All y'all done did it. So it's to a point where my family has closed me off. I don't really
Because you're
deal with
talking about it.
Yeah, so it's like I'm the villain. Oh, I want the attention. I'm the attention snatcher, and that's never the case. I'm not no attention snatcher, and everybody know my character. But because of this show, I'm being told I'm doing this for attention. She auditioning the people business. Oh, I'm just here. And I'm just like, this is my family talking about these things. Even the ones that I brought up with, they're talking bad. About what I'm doing, like I'm trying to do this to get something out of it. Yes, I am, but it's to help other people, to
Exactly.
let other women and young ladies know that that is not okay. And if your parents not listening to you, this is what this show is for. Because if you if you stay with your parents, your aunt, your grandparents, and they not listening to what you're telling them what's happening to you, no, don't keep that in the house. Go tell someone. Because I feel real strongly that if I had at least got some help and talked to someone, then maybe I would have, realized a lot of things that I'm doing now. Lisa, I just came to the conclusion and to actually recognizing a lot of things. And I started this July 11th for my birthday of last year, So it was like, if you watch my shows from then to now, I have learned more than I learned my entire life. Just coming out with my truth and speaking it to the world because I was ashamed. I would only tell people that I know. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, but to tell a group of people and all that, I'm like, no. And to talk to a psychiatrist because I was brought up in don't say nothing, I wasn't going to. I don't even know if I would have told them anything. But it happened to my daughter.
More than likely not.
It
I
happened.
had a psychiatrist through my entire time, and a psychologist.
And that's
Didn't you
that's
read
one of
the
my
chapter
questions.
psych? Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't help you.
Actually, having a psychologist really helped me because it was the only thing that remained the same throughout
So
all
it was
of my
like
years.
regardless of where
It
you
was
go.
like consistent.
Oh, so
But-
it wasn't even able
But
to.
that wasn't the part that I needed help with. The part that I needed. Well, let me just say this. It made me understand that this, because it feels surreal. A lot of times when you move from one place, you wake up in a different bed,
Right.
and you do that 13 times. You go to 13 different schools. You go to 13 different churches. You deal with all these things. I mean, most of the time in people's lives, they go to 3 schools, and that's it. And but most of the time,
Yeah.
and they know the same people, and they have the same. Well, imagine creating basically a new life, each place you go, and having to conform to a new religion a lot of times. You're having to conform to a new rules,
Right.
a new church, a new school, you know,
Yeah.
and then you're learning algebra in one school and you go to the next school and you're learning, you know, something completely
else
different.
that's not leaving the
And
same.
guess what? You're not going to know any of it.
But it
So-
seemed like you was a good student. I was angry and I was beating up people.
I was very determined
Okay.
that I was going to finish because people were saying that I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, and I kind of
And I
like
don't
fell
let-
into
I don't
that.
let that.
Because everybody was telling me I wasn't.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to, help take care of my siblings and help everybody out, I couldn't put myself first. And I still feel like when my aunt got me from the foster homes and gave me a stable home, when I started getting girlfriends and living in the same spot another year, that was something, that helped me. But it didn't help me to overcome it. It helped me to push it back because I worried about all my other girlfriends' problems so that I don't have to worry about my pain. Because when I brought it out, nothing happened. So I figured, maybe I did something to deserve that. So how can everybody say I'm pretty and I'm being treated the way I'm being treated? There's no way I could feel that. You know what I'm saying? For a very long time, I just felt my body is what men wanted, and I just, use that tease and been very mean to men.
You get what you want.
Yeah, but I wasn't giving it up. I know what they wanted, so I teased them, man. I changed my number. I didn't spend all this money.
Oh,
I
my
was
goodness.
so mean, and when I read your story, it's like you wasn't mean, like, at all.
I mean, I had some little attitude issue in there.
Yeah, especially when you got on that girl, man. You joked. I said, oh,
I had
no,
some
she
attitudes. Yeah, I
is.
did.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it was a defense. Like I said, it was a defense mechanism, and it was one thing that I wasn't going to let anybody do. Is one of the reasons why I really like boxing and love
I
boxing
love boxing.
is because I really felt like I could outlast a person.
See?
And I really should
And that
have.
was me.
I really should have like fought more rounds when I first started boxing, because early on in the fight, that's not when I'm doing good. It's later on in the fight. So when you're learning, you start with 4-round fights and stuff like that.
Right.
But as I got on to the 6 rounds and the 10-rounders, I got better and better because I can outlast you.
Right, and the girls you was fighting, women you was fighting, they was
Too
bigger
sexy.
than you.
Well, a lot of times
And
it's gonna
everything
be-
taller at least, and I'm like, she up in there, I'm like, oh, that could have been. Girl, I have my boyfriend, we've been watching all you.
Well, a lot of times we are like this. First of all, we are same weight, but a lot of times
They're a little taller.
They may be shorter or stockier, or thicker, or something like that. Yeah.
But you just still seem like the smallest one.
Oh, really?
Yes, compared to
Thank
them
you.
white girls. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we're
Yeah, I
gonna
was
give
very thin. I was looking at those videos. I was like, God.
man, but your footwork.
Thank
That's what I like.
I like that you recognize that.
It's the footwork. And, I might ain't get in the ring, got paid, but street fight was my
understand that.
jump. You know what I'm saying? So, I never get tired. Even with my box trainer, I told him, I said, I got asthma, but I still feel like
You don't get tired.
I can still box. And he told me I could, but everybody else was like, you crazy. You 20, you ain't been no box. You got 2 kids. So I'm like,
I had 2 kids.
And
I
you
started
did
at
it.
28, and I was like, I just didn't want to turn 40 and say what I should have done.
see, and that's me, y'all. 40 years old, meeting this woman, and I'm like, she living my life. I know I would have been in the ring, and I would have been champ. I'm telling you, because I
think
was
so,
just
too.
determined. So to meet you, I'm like, this is me. Literally, I told my sister, I'm like, I have met her, like, that's me.
I lived your life for you.
Yes. So that's why I was so pressed to like, come on, Lisa, we gotta come on here. Look, we gotta bring out the schedule. We gotta.
And you've
I
supported
was
me
just hoping
too.
I didn't bug you.
No, you didn't. You supported me too because when I asked you to come out and to my thing that I was doing.
Yeah, even though I was late.
But no, you showed up, and
Right.
that's huge. That was like I gotta support this woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. With your experiences and your upbringing, how did you learn that?
I learned from them. That's what I said early in the book. Going through all those foster homes, my second foster parents were probably my best teacher. You know, if I could stand this woman.
So the first one, it was
No,
sad.
the second, if Miss Graves, if she could sit in front of my face and I'm
Ooh,
5
she
years
was
old and tell me how ugly and how disgusting and how I'd never be anything and how I was too black and how I was too everything wrong. If I could sit there and decide to myself at 5 years old, she's talking about herself.
Wow. Me, I'd have been just crying and why me? So to overcome, sexual abuse and abuse, it seems like you took from them and just created this ultimate person that's awesome. Like, I'm still lost on how did you overcome it? Was it after you wrote your book? Was it after you became the champ? Like, because I hear that you were still having issues with your appearances at 28.
With my appearance?
I mean, you was.
Well, let me just
you
say
talking
this.
about hair or something?
Oh, yeah. Well, when I talk about.
You had a comment about your hair.
When I started boxing, I had decided, before I started boxing, I had decided to go natural. So I cut all my hair off completely. And I carry myself pretty feminine.
Okay.
And I had my 2 children and everything. But what happens is when you start boxing, your body transforms. And you get the muscles, and you get toned, and you get tight, and I fight just like you said, I fight like I'm from DC, so I fight like a guy, and when I saw myself in the ring at that time, I was like, okay.
So you learned a lot of your discipline.
I need to do something different to my hair. That was just a preference.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, why is she still talking about it? That's one of the questions in here. It's like, she talking about her hair? What? You was 28. You was beautiful. Like,
thank you.
I was like,
I felt that way too, but I think it was more about the attention that I was getting.
Okay. Because the attention that I was getting, I just never took it the right way. It could be a genuine person just was like, you're beautiful or whatever, and I just, whatever, you want something.
You pop on.
You want something. Yeah, like, I don't want to hear that. What you want? You know what I'm saying? I just was evil.
You a DC girl.
Is that what it is? Like,
guys just tell me guys just tell me all the time. They say, "Oh, you ain't from DC. You don't act like a DC girl." I was like, "Well, yeah, I do. I'm from DC completely."
Yes, you are. Trust me. Because reading this book, I was like, no, and I want to get there. So for the young people that's out here and to overcome something so bad, because looking at my experiences in my life, not getting over something can hold you back. So you have to forgive the people who hurt you, and you have to have an understanding within yourself. I'm so hard on myself.
Forgive yourself.
It's not your fault.
Exactly.
And for so long, I said, well, maybe it's the way I dress, or I dressed up my style of. Back then, I used to dress up the way I used to change things to try to please people. Then I came to the conclusion, man, they're going to say something regardless. So I just kept this wall and this angry person always ready. You come at me, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, what? And I'm going to give it to you. So people kind of like left me alone. And it branded me, to the point where when I became, older and got into armed security, and people were like, how they gave that crazy girl a gun? Like, are they crazy? Like, she carries a weapon. And people didn't understand. They didn't understand it, right? But I knew that I had kids and I had to provide for them, and I had to start conducting myself better and not keep fighting and beating everybody up because I can't get charges because I'm gonna lose my gun license, So I think that kind of like helped me. I was in my 20s, like my late 20s when I started security.
You had your SBL.
Yeah, I was like in my late 20s. So
that
calmed me down, because I think if I didn't get that license and getting that money to, I'd have been still tearing people up, but I had to change my surroundings and everything because, people that I was around, I was the go-to girl. Call Kelly, what's up? Let's go. Kelly go to the girl house. Kelly like, what's up? I don't do no talking. I'm handling it. You know what I'm saying? So people just got a tendency to always
pay?
calling me. I used to, from the boys who would pay me to go beat up their ex-girlfriend or something.
Oh.
I did used to get paid
Yeah.
when I was around Colonial Village.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw these chick moving up to Oxon Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Had to smash some people for a couple $100.
Okay.
But that's just what I'm saying. I was so angry, and I look back, and just for somebody that's out there that maybe you could be similar shoes, you can't be mad at the world because of, you know, your life situations. Because it wasn't the world that did it, it was individuals. And see, my foster parents ain't give me a chance. They was shitting me off to different folks. I beat up the kids. The kids come tease me. The boyfriend try to talk to me, touch my, butt or whatever. I beat him up. The foster girl got mad, so I beat her up. So I didn't get no type of connection with none of my foster parents. And I moved around probably about 7, 8 times with my aunt. Because they said, you know what, we got to put her in another foster home because she keep beating up all the kids. So we got to put her in a group home.
The irony about that is that it didn't take me to beat up a whole bunch of people, and I still had to move around a lot. So whether you beat them up or not, you're still, a lot of times you're going to have to move because of
I
whatever.
kept moving.
You said.
So I got with my aunt, and she put up with me. I don't know how.
Yeah, so I was one of those kids. I'd never even been to the principal's office.
Wow.
But yeah, like seriously.
My middle name.
But like I always had this this calmness in me that just kept me. But you asked me how did I overcome?
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm 51 years old now.
Wow.
You know that, right? And
No, I don't.
the way that I overcome, and I have, all these years, is that I completely reinvent myself.
Reinvented
So
yourself.
here's an example.
Okay.
So this year, I haven't done. I wrote the book about 4 years ago, and I've done a few things in between. Started some business, and I actually have a nonprofit and so forth. And I've done a few things in my community, but I hadn't done anything for myself in a while. So I decided that I was going to. I needed to transform myself. I'm writing a one-woman play about my book and my experiences. But I said to myself, how do I need to look? How do I envision myself? And I was talking to some younger women, and they were like, I was thinking about doing a fitness competition. And I thought about it. I said, at 51 years old, could I do a fitness competition? Well, that's my next thing.
Wow.
On May the 2nd in Richmond, I'll be doing a bodybuilding contest for the first time. And so it's going to be really interesting. So I'm saying it here now. And we have to,
But to reinvent yourself, you have to
so you
know what you're going to do.
Yes, and make the plan. And
It's all
follow
about
the
making
steps.
a plan.
So you have to have a plan for everything. Even our children, they have to have plans. They have to know what they're doing next. Are they just going to be feeling their way around? So that's something that I have my kids do. When they live with me, I just, I was like, look, junior high, high school, college. My son is a pilot. My daughter is a therapist. And I was just like, as long as you have a plan, I can help you.
Right.
Otherwise, because I can't help
Have
you.
a plan and write it down.
Yeah. So that's what you do. You reinvent yourself, and I think that. And then also another thing is that I try to stay refreshed. I love hanging out with my kids and younger people because, I see your daughter around, and I just like talking to them because they give you a fresh view on what's going on today and how they're thinking.
Really, really wild out here for our kids. This generation is coming now. Oh my goodness, that's why this is one of the reasons why I started Focus DC.
Okay.
Is because, it's wild out here.
Your daughter is Gen Z. She's a Generation Z, right?
Yeah. So it's like stuff that she be coming home with. Oh my goodness, I was like, I didn't even do that till I was in high school. Like, what are these kids doing? So to really answer the question, you can overcome it. You just have to know that you have it in you, and you have to.
We're not saying saying like sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened. We're
just-
saying deal with it, get past it, and do the next thing that you're supposed to do in your life.
So what about for the people who don't know? Because back then when I was, all I knew, I wanted to be a boxer, but because of my experiences,
You
You
can
know.
honestly, this is the God's honest truth. How old are you?
42.
You can still be a boxer.
Wow.
That's the guy if you want to. I mean, like
wouldn't dare.
honestly, there's a seniors division. You can do
Wow.
anything you want to do. I'm 51 years old, man. I'm just for the first time in my entire life starting to train for bodybuilding. I'm not gonna do supplements it's gonna be all natural.
Wow.
But I have never seen myself look like that.
Mhm.
But I'll bet you the next time you see me, or the next time we have this conversation, you will have seen some. By
Right.
April,
By
you will
April.
you will see
Yeah,
the
'cause
transformation.
I know about that training because my brother was into that bodybuilding, but the women,
So you know about yourself. So it's like if you wanted to box, you could actually do it.
I
dead
just
serious,
figured,
girl.
I was just like,
You just have to dedicate yourself. That's it.
right, and that's true when you said overcoming. I think getting into the modeling was overcoming something that I said I was going to do since I was 7 years old.
Mhm.
So to start a company in
Well, there you
2004,
go.
you know, you can do it, and
You have a vision.
yeah, and at that young. So for me to be actually into modeling now and teaching, and I have successful stories of models that's living the life
Mm.
that I have helped, that just makes me feel so good. You know what I'm saying? That I, took what I was taught and my skills and to help others, get past theirs. You know what I'm saying? But didn't even know that I could answer that question.
There you
Because
go.
I always was a planner. When you have your mind set on something, it's all about writing it down in the order. You can't get everything done at once. It's like I always had a goals list, my goals. And Lisa, to this day, I still write everything I do. So I used to go back when I was 20 and read stuff and be like, oh my goodness.
So Kelly, did you put together a vision board for this year?
I want to do that.
Okay, so that's the next thing. So I'm
Yeah.
getting mine together now.
Yeah.
You got to get your vision board.
Yeah, I
And
did
put it
teach
up in
my
every
daughter
room.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a new vision board done soon.
No, that has to be done this week.
This week? Okay.
Yeah.
So I told my daughter, sure, we got to do our
It
vision
has to be done
boards.
this week because the year has already started. I've already started cutting my stuff out. I'm getting mine done by tomorrow.
But it's crazy because when I go back to my old one,
Mhm.
I have did all
All
the
the
things.
Exactly.
Yeah, but don't be afraid to go beyond because I'm going
Yeah.
beyond with this one.
Okay. Yeah.
This one, I'm telling you, because
And then leave a little room on there to add stuff during the year that you
that you
say,
wanna,
I want to do that,
wanna
and
do
then
that
stick
and
that
just
up
stick
there
it in
too.
there. I didn't do that. I was cluttering every. It wasn't a spot empty.
What's your big vision for the year?
Oh, the big vision is for the year is to become one of the. I don't know, Lisa. I don't know.
See, and you got it. That's another thing, people.
Right
You
now.
have to know what it is you want.
There's
But I think
so
I
many
think
things
you
I
want to
want.
fight. You want to take a fight.
I tell you, I'm actually thinking about wrestling. So
Are
I
you
did get
serious?
an offer. And they was like, would
Oh,
you do that?
my God.
So was you telling me that you? I mean, like,
Oh, you gotta
look at her,
get
y'all.
straight for
51? No way. And you about to bodybuild? So,
Yeah.
and they was like, they just got hard training, and I'm so competitive. So, because if I get in a gym and I'm next to a 60-year-old lady and she's running more, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, so I'm that type.
Yeah.
So I am. What you think? Because I'm like,
I think so too. I think so.
I'll be out there wrestling. I'm
Why
42,
not?
like,
Just put your mouthpiece in. You don't want to mess up your teeth.
right.
So another thing that I did this year. So that's one thing. But in the fall, I enrolled into American University, and I'm in law school. So
Right,
that was
that's-
the other thing that I'm doing, and I have goals. So I have between 15 and 20 months. I'm going to be finished walking across the stage. That's on my vision board. So as long as you have these goals,
Right. You just gotta.
just go after them.
And writing them down
You
and
have a
doing a
plan.
vision board, it can remind you
Yeah.
of what
Daily.
what you're supposed to be doing. Because starting this show, it kind of like took me on where I had I got emotional.
I
And I
want to
got a
ask you
little
how you did
depressed.
that. How because I would love to start a podcast, and I have no idea how to do it.
I've been researching for the last 2 years,
Mhm.
and because of the topic that I was going to start, I just wanted to find a home that was, that suits me. I ended up meeting my engineer for 87 TV Network. I love them to death, and I started by calling
I
him.
gotta get his business card. Huh?
Okay, yeah, you do.
Okay.
You got to. I've called him and I just said, because we talked for what, months, and then I just called you one day, said I'm ready. I want to sign it. It was on my nephew first year anniversary of losing him to gun violence. So I said I want to make 705 special. That I started something. So I came down here and started it, and I didn't know where I was gonna go with it. I didn't know what I'm gonna do with it. I just said this day is gonna be the day that I'm gonna celebrate my year. I'm gonna make his day even more special. You know what I'm saying?
So you just asked me how you overcome when you just did it. You just answered your own question.
By having a plan and
Yeah.
by setting it out and doing it. Yeah, but it was one of the hardest, I ain't gonna say it's a mistake. I'm I'm so family oriented to a fault to where I still live in that world of having this family together. And one of the psychiatrists, I think you talked to him for a second, he told me, he said, because you was separated from your family when you was young, you still got this tendency of trying to keep everybody together, and it don't work out like
That's
that.
what we do.
I wanted to ask you that.
Yes, that's what we do.
You just want everything to work out.
And we don't want to let people go who aren't good for us either. So we'll latch onto somebody, and then we'll try to help them and do everything that we can. We're not really taking care of ourselves, which
Right.
I've actually learned at 50. I'm not doing that anymore.
You did it?
I used to do that all the time.
Oh my
Try to
goodness,
take
I
care of
wouldn't even
people, try to
think
look
that
at
you was
right.
like
All
that.
the time, yes.
Really?
Taking care of everyone else and not thinking about myself. And I said at 50 years old, no, And I mean, I had to even go as far as letting my husband know and my children know,
The children
letting
too?
their dog know, everybody know. This is what Lisa's doing now. And you know what? There's nothing they can say because I've sacrificed my entire life for them. I was 50 years old, and that's when I made that decision. And it was like, you know what? Say something.
God, I can't wait to get there.
No, take your
I
time.
am going
46.
crazy trying to keep my family together, and it's to a point where it was tearing me apart. So I had to separate myself and start just, learning how to not go there, because this is what Focus DC is supposed to be about, me learning and overcoming and getting this anger out of me, because I'm still a sweetheart. I'm the nicest person, but it's just when I'm when I'm in a certain, it ain't no turning me down. And the way that, we had went through some things with a phone call and the way that you handled that, I was just like, wow. I can see, I can't see myself there, but I see myself there one day, and I want it to be soon.
Well, like they say, when your plane is going down, when the plane is going down, you have to put on your oxygen mask first before you can help someone else. So you have to put your oxygen mask on and take care of yourself first, because if you're gone, you can't help anyone.
Right. Yeah.
Period.
That is so true. So to overcome something, is there it's no time frame that we can say that it's supposed to happen, because it's on each his own on how you can overcome things. But I can say from experience, I think what helped me was that I forgave my father completely to the point where my kids grew up around him and everything, and
I forgave my mother.
no one never understood how can I forgive him or even leave my kids around him. No, my kids know what he done to me. I always was honest because I didn't want them to be in an environment where they didn't know if something happened what to do.
Yep.
So my father had to live with the fact that
His
grandkids know what he did to me. You know what I'm saying? But
Good for
the
you.
way I've raised them, they don't treat him no wrong. They love him to death.
Yeah.
So the way I've raised my kids
That's great.
is the way that I looked at things, and I got a little upset at the beginning of the show because I was hearing things that I didn't know. But when I thought about it, I was like, I already forgave him and healed that.
Yeah.
So why am I letting all these people get me back upset? So I had to step back. Like, why am I upset?
That's a trick.
I was upset because of the other people in the family who, why is she telling this and that? Y'all did not live this. I lived it. I don't want attention. I got attention. I didn't have attention my whole life. I don't even want. So I'm not trying to get attention. I'm just a very cool and good people's person, and I care. I mean, to a stranger, I give them my last.
Kelly, you know, a lot of times when people do that to you, it's them trying to throw you off course. They're trying to throw
But this
you
is
off
family.
course.
Like,
Yeah,
why would
them
family
too.
try to throw you off
Them
course?
too. They're the best at it. So,
I tell you, I am super excited today, y'all, and we just keeping it really raw with you on how to overcome something. One, you have to forgive the person who hurt you. I know it sounds crazy because I was the one like, what?
but you don't have to forget. You don't have
You
to
don't
forget
forget.
it because you live and you learn.
You have to forgive, and that is why I lived and grew up with my dad, and I let my kids grow up with him because I forgave him. Now the fact that my kids knew what he done, that shows you I never forgot. But
That's right.
forgiving him, I think, is what saved me. And I think my dad and him going through all the stuff that he's going through, and if you're watching the show, because he's back in DC, and I do want him to come on the show so we can kind of like let people see live on how close we are and how, regardless of what we came from, we love each other.
And hopefully he's forgiven himself.
He hasn't, and I think that is the reason
That's
why
he hasn't come
he's.
here yet.
That's why he's not getting his life in order. I think if my dad was this messed up person everybody put him to be, he wouldn't care less, and he would have probably got himself together a long time ago. But because of what he's done, I think it holds him back. And I'll be damned. I want to help to the point where I don't want you feeling bad, and I pray that he didn't go into a depression once I came out with this, because Dad, you know, I've been telling you I'm going to do this for a long time. I just didn't know when, and I just had to come up one day, 7:05, and come and do it. But I want you to heal. I don't want you to feel bad, and I don't want you to keep dwelling on the past. I want you to get your life together now for your grandkids, for your kids still. Like, I love you to death, and I'm not going to get mad and upset and let people tell me how I'm supposed to feel, because I forgave you. He was molested when he was young.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
So
He was
you
molested.
never know what he's still holding in his heart because you never know what happened to him completely.
Right,
So,
and we had that talk when I was in my 30s. I asked him,
so,
why
yeah.
did you do these things?
Yeah.
And the fact that he started getting into crack cocaine, it made it worse and worse and worse. So
Demons.
yeah, and then to sell me to the ice cream truck, man, you know, I had forgot. I spoke with marijuana so much, man. I forgot all about that, you know, until my sister had a conversation, and she felt like Dad didn't love her as much because I got to go to the ice cream truck and she didn't. So for a long time, she always had that resentment, like, oh, he must love her better. And I used to be mean, like, you ain't going. So, and to tell her on the show our second day, I said,
That's
man,
why you didn't. That's why.
yeah, I'll bring her candy back, but I won't let you go and get that done to you. You know what I'm saying? You know, even though I'm young, I'm not understanding. All you can do is fondle her. You can't penetrate her. Never forget them two words in my life. Didn't know what they meant at the time. Now that I grew up, I'm like, okay, so you thought you was letting him do what you did, but he couldn't. How do you know he didn't?
That was the level of protection that he thought he was giving you.
Yeah, but that wasn't no protection, because, I mean, he messed with me in between all the neighborhoods we went to. He playing with me and all that, and then going to feed people candy right off from his hand. Like, you know, it was just disgusting. I hated ice cream trucks. I hated them, you know. So to experience that, I did get a little angry because I forgot, but at the same time, my father was sick. He had a problem. I grew up around crack cocaine my entire life. I've seen what it did to my family. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they don't know what they're doing. It's a sickness. and people still don't understand how I can forgive him, how I can talk and still. It's just, this is the way God made me.
So those ice cream trucks are a trigger to you.
Yeah, very
So
much
you
so.
know what's the trigger to me? There's a certain kind of cologne that's a
Really?
trigger to me because this person used to put this stuff on his sweaty, nasty self without
Oh
even showering,
God.
and then
And then it got that
mess with
strong.
me. And then I knew the smell, and then I hate that smell to this day because I associate that other smell. It's not a clean smell to me. It's a dirty smell. So that's a trigger that
Is
sets
that some
something
kind of
off
like
in me.
cheap cologne or?
No,
what
it's
do they-
actually a pretty. I don't want to name it because we're on the
Right,
show.
right.
But
You
it's
know the
actually-
name.
Yeah,
You
I know exactly
Oh.
I know exactly what he was using because I was in bed at night and he would come into my bedroom and put this on his sweatiness on top, as if he would come up and pretend like he was taking a shower, but instead he would just go put that on and come in there and mess with me, and I would pretend like I was asleep until he left. And then the worst part about it is that he would leave money on the dresser
No.
like I was a whore. And
Oh
this
my
is what I
goodness.
did. I messed him up though, because I wouldn't touch it. I didn't
Right.
tell him, but I wouldn't touch it. And then he would do it each time that he would do it. It was still sitting there until he had to take it because he realized, oh, she ain't taking that. Somebody's gonna ask questions about it soon if I don't. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
but that's a trigger for me. So that cologne, if I smell it, it just nauseates me.
Yeah, that's why I feel about ice cream trucks. I'm not a fan of them at all. You know, I was too young going
That's supposed to
through
be
that.
a childhood good thing,
Right.
the good thing that you had.
Right. So to overcome things, you have to forgive. Never forget, but let go. You know, figure out what type of person or what future that you want. And I'm telling you, the power is in you. Writing something down,
Have a plan.
man, that plan, I mean, because you could talk about it all day long, but when you start writing it down or doing your, vision boards, you can bring everything you say to life. Because I was a child, I did not know that I was going to become, a model or even having a modeling business. That's just something that I used for my protection.
Yep.
Like I go into a safe place, I'm gonna be a supermodel. You know what I'm saying? Because
This will get me out of all of
yeah,
this.
and it just made me forget about what was happening around me.
Good for you.
So it's no particular time frame, because I had a couple of my audience ask me about that. Like, how would you know? Because some people figured they did, but then they found out they didn't. I mean, it's really on you, and just to be the best person you can be. I mean, Lisa right here is a prime example of strong power, women empowerment. And
So are you.
And we need more
I
of
look at you
that.
the same way.
Really?
I look at you the exact same way. Yes, I do.
Wow.
You stand up a little. You stand up taller than you realize you do.
And I heard that before, but it's really, really hard. It's really hard.
You know what you know.
Because I'm just so mean on, I'm so,
No, you're not.
I'm mean to myself. I'm my worst
Okay.
critic. I could be the sweetest person to everybody, but to myself, I am like,
So that's another part of overcoming. You have to forgive yourself, and you have to be good to yourself. And
Okay.
I have to say this. My husband, he was one of the biggest teachers of me. My husband loves himself.
okay,
He does everything he wants to do.
okay.
He plays his golf. He eats all the food he wants. He does what he wants, and he does not apologize. And I didn't know how to do it, and I resented. I was like, you just care about yourself. You just think about yourself. And you know what? I said, dang, I need to be doing that. And why am I upset that he's doing it? But that's the same jealousy that other people see you and feel that you have. So it's like,
And I don't even feel
why
like
do
I have it.
but you do. But so basically, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, oh God, my husband's not selfish. He's not mean. He's not evil. Everybody is human.
Right.
So, but I learned from him. He's 30 years my senior, and I appreciate. I've been with him for 17 years. I appreciate every single thing I've learned from him.
But can I ask you another personal question?
Of course.
Concerning that,
Yes.
because of what I've been through, I'm into older guys. and my 12-year-old father is almost 70. So it's like, is
That's
is
not all
that
that
what
unusual
is
these
that
days.
what drew you to him? Your past because these men was older. For me, I think that's what happened. Come on up here, Michelle. Come on the show.
Well,
babe. Come over
actually,
here, look.
hi Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Actually, my first husband was 1 year older than me. He was like my high school sweetheart, and I was with him for 19 years. I have never not been married, actually. So my second husband, um, I didn't know. I wasn't looking. I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, no. But all I knew is I wasn't gonna repeat. Remember you talked about
Making the
doing
same
something different?
yeah.
Making the same- I wasn't gonna repeat what I did with the ex one. I had beautiful children by that one, but I did not want that same kind of husband. So
Right.
I got around people I wanted to most be like, and I took myself out of that circle of guys that were
Okay. So
attractive. And
Mr. Cohen is the third.
Second.
Oh, second. Oh, okay, the second one. Okay.
So like,
That's why I was
so
like,
this is the real, so this is the
I think
deal.
of two, but
No, so
okay.
this is the deal. So, right out of high school, I went to the Navy,
Mhm,
got married right out of boot camp,
mhm.
was with the first one from 17 years old to, I think it was,
17.
yeah, until I divorced him. I think I was 33, but it lasted
Wow.
for 19 years.
Okay.
The union and the marriage. So 15 years married, together for 19. The second one, I met him in 2003,
Okay.
and we were together.
That was like after you became the champ.
Yes, that was all the way after the fact. So that
Yeah.
story that you heard.
Yeah.
That
Don't even
really,
make
that's
sense.
really right. So I actually met him
Okay.
in 2003.
Really?
That was all the way after that.
Okay.
So there's an inside joke here. So
Okay.
So I met him all the way after that, and we ended up getting. And the way that I took care of myself was this. And I know that I may get a little flack behind this, but this is a part of taking care of myself.
Mm.
I didn't want to be another one of those women stuck in a marriage that I wasn't happy or that I wasn't getting anything out of.
Okay.
So I was with this man for 4.5 years, and I went to him and I said, "Look, I'm with you for 4.5 years. My children are here. What are we going to do? Because if we're not going to do anything, I need to move on." Now, some people
Wow.
might
That's
think,
after 4 years.
4.5 years.
4.5.
So some people might think that I was dealing with convenience or whatever, but you know what? It's about taking care of myself and my children. I would have been a fool to stay in that house with that man
Mhm.
without having anything with him. You feel me? So
That's
that's just
it.
me taking
Like a
care of
fool.
myself. That's me
Right.
taking care of myself. So, and he understood. And he was like, "Oh, perfect, makes perfect sense. Let's go to Vegas tomorrow and get married."
No, that was your second.
That was what he did. So
Wow.
that's how
That's
that
what's
happened.
up. Wow.
And so we went to Vegas the next day and got married. And
Been happily
we've been-
married
we've
since.
we've been together for 17 years.
Wow, I've been with my guy for 20, and he been wanting to
That's
get
longevity.
married. And I just, to the point where if I'm not happy, I just can't see myself getting married until, things get worked out. But after 20 years, like, is they ever gonna get worked out? I don't know. He's on a short lease. I can just He's my baby. I
Speak
love
your
him.
truth, honey.
I'm just telling him that because now that I'm coming into the woman that, I knew I would be, I can't keep accepting a lot of the things
Thank
that
you.
I have. And because I have 3 kids with 3 different baby fathers,
Okay.
I
That's
just,
all right.
I kind of like stayed with him because it's like, I have girls, I have sacrificed. It's time for me to be happy. It's time for you to make me happy. He don't want to work hard for me no more. He's thinking, oh, I helped you raise 3 kids. I don't got to do nothing else. He don't want to keep proving his love to me. And I'm like, women, no, you can't stop that. And that's when we.
Okay, my
I'll
advice
roll
on
out.
that one
Okay.
is that when a man stops trying to impress you, you're done.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm not talking about him because
No, I know,
I'm not going there.
But-
We're not going there. But I'm just saying, and from my point of view, like when you
And I
stop,
know that. And
when
that's
you
why-
stop trying to impress him, he'll know it. When he stops trying to impress you, when a sudden they just let their looks go and let their appearance go and all that stuff. What does the guy say? Oh man, she don't even care about nothing. Then he has a reason to cheat. Am I right? Yes. So for a woman, it's the same thing. Whenever a man feels like, I'm good. I ain't gotta press her. I don't have to do nothing for her. She'll be here. She'll be back. She'll do
But
this.
I
She'll be
thought it
back.
was because we've been together so long, and it's like, but I
All
still.
right, well, you're smart, and I'm just going to say this. When you get buried in the grave, who's going to give a damn about how you lived your life? You got to think about it. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. I you know,
Well, you have
and
to give Michelle a sense.
yeah, yeah. I said I had to call her on here because you was over there, you was watching us, you was hearing, you know, the stories and everything that we talk about. So to overcome, because she also overcame, you know, or still, you know, is overcoming.
Okay.
We're gonna be a rest in peace. She lost her daughter.
I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine the heartbreak.
Yeah, and it's been a hard
How
journey.
old was she?
24.
Hmm.
But I'm okay. I'm.
You have
This
strength.
is
You have
my
strength
year.
over there, baby.
This year is my year. It has to be. Because like I told him, something's gonna have to give. I want to get married on Mother's Day.
Okay.
I almost lost my son on Mother's Day. I got gang raped by 9 people on Mother's Day, and then I lost her the day after Mother's Day. I don't know. I might have been. I'm not sure. It's been some
I heard
years.
a story.
years.
I heard a story about that.
It's been a
Was
while.
their home?
It
Was
was on
their
H Street.
DC?
H Street.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, and you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember the story.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so
To
sorry.
hear that, but I wanted to call her on here
Yes, you
because
are,
she is like, you know, we only know each other what 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, the girlfriend I done had for 20 years has not been as loyal to
And
me.
close.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without judgment,
I
you
can
know.
feel it. I can feel
Yeah,
the
this is my buddy.
closeness.
Yeah, because it's just if I didn't have her, it's just a lot of people that I figured out. I figured you've been friends with a girl for 20 years, they're your real friends. But I had to realize that's
No,
not
no.
the case.
And it doesn't matter if it's a man or female. 'Cause
No.
I've had males. They act just as womanly.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that, but
Yeah.
they act just the same way, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you just have to be careful, and you know you're your friend.
Right.
You're your friend.
right,
Exactly. I
right.
always say nothing personal but me, myself, and I. Because
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to disappoint myself. And if I do, then I have to do that. I don't have to worry about nobody
But
else.
see, and that's where I'm at, because I always hurt myself. I just feel like I'm the worst person ever, or you know. But and that's why I started this show, because I know y'all not gonna have me thinking that I'm this bad person. I'm not, you know. So when I started this, so people can understand, you know, understanding sexual abuse. Seriously, is very, very serious out here.
So we got sexual, we got physical,
We got mental.
verbal, all of the things. But this is the worst. This is the worst. You just said you hurt yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've read. I don't know where you are in it. You're toward the end.
Yeah,
So I'm sure you read about the McLeishes and you read about my cutting. Did you read that yet?
That's probably the one that I told you I got a gap,
Okay.
because I wanted to get to the end.
Okay.
When I got all my stuff, I'm gonna get to that part.
So imagine. So
This
when you
book had me
when you
emotional.
abuse yourself, yeah, I'll make sure you know. When you abuse yourself, you can. It's just like trying to pull blood out of you. I mean, going out here knowing you're about to do something self-destructive. It's just like sitting there with that razor, well, like when I was a little girl, slicing a little blood out of you just to get a release. And that's what that was about. Now I think nowadays it comes in a different form. And I think that when you see all these kids walking around with all these piercings and a whole bunch of tattoos all over their bodies, I think that's a form of cutting.
It is.
That
My daughter
that's
was a cutter.
that's the same thing. I
And
think it's a
she
form.
had big tattoos that I didn't even know she had. I found out she was a pain freak.
Yeah.
Because they had to find, you have to find some kind of way to anything. She started cutting at 8 when her dad got killed.
And
So,
it's like, see, for me, it was seeing those little dots of blood just come up out of the cut. And and that's one of the things that it took me a while to talk about. But I needed for my daughter to hear it and my son to hear it, because I don't, that we need to heal our kids
Wow,
now. Like,
that
yeah.
touches me deep because
Yeah.
I had some experiences with that. And if I would have read that part, because it was I bet you it was that part, because that would have torn me, because I took pills and not knowing that them pills couldn't hurt me. I took a whole bunch of
I
pills
mean, even
before.
taking your fist, and
And
I never
fighting.
really, no, taking your fist and hitting yourself.
Oh my goodness.
So that's what I used to do. I never knew, I was into Kung Fu and all that stuff, and I would do that, and I just had to feel some sort of release.
you know,
At
at
the
the
time.
back, I used to do that too.
Okay.
I used to just punch myself in the face
Yep.
and just try to
Just to
bruise
feel
my
the
arms
release.
No,
up.
I used to punch holes through
I used
walls.
to take my
When I
nails
get
and
mad, I
stick it
punch
to
a hole in
thighs
my
and
hand,
stuff
be
like that.
swole.
I did.
But see, this is all mental illness. We do know that, right?
Wow.
And it's all manageable.
It is.
It's
You
just
have to
never
you have to
enough
live up
time.
to it.
We are coming to the end of the show, you all. I swear I knew I was going to get my girl here, didn't want to stop talking. But it was one part before we leave that they diagnosed you with, saying that it was, I want you to give me
Which one?
the answer in your own way, because they diagnosed you with something about depression, about you can't take rejection. What was that?
Oh,
And I want it in your
yeah.
words.
Yeah,
Put
that.
it in your.
when I was
No.
when I was about 6 years old, 6 or 7 years old, dysphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
So-
that? Because I think
so-
I had that. I didn't even know.
Well, let me just say it like this: when you go to war,
Mhm.
you come out shell shocked. A lot of times, you have post-traumatic stress disorder. That's basically that way of saying that. So, in other words,
And they figured that out when you was
separation. In
that
other
young.
words, you have separation anxiety. So, if you take, I was taken away from my mother as soon as I was out of the womb. She never even bonded with me.
Oh.
Then I started a process of going into all these foster homes, and I bonded with that first foster parent.
Right.
But after, and if I had not gone with her, the first 5 years of any child's life are the most impressionable. And that's when you feel love. That's when if you don't feel love in those first 5 years, it's a good chance that you might end up being a psychopath or a sociopath.
Wow.
So, it was crucial that I felt love, and I was so glad that I met that first foster parents before I met those second ones, because I wouldn't have ever felt love like I felt it from them. So, when we moved from the Parkers and moved to the Graves,
Right.
they sent us to, because I was in such a depression. I wouldn't say a word. I was quiet.
I'm so
I wouldn't
remember
speak
you
2
saying
words.
That. You wouldn't. do
And I was
anything
super shy.
until that lady came. I think.
Grandma
Grandma. Yeah.
You did read the book. And so they sent me to Howard University
Hello.
Hospital to get IQ test and to get the test to
Okay.
see if I was mentally ill like my mother. And come to find out, I was not. However, I was clinically depressed and I had anxiety. So when I would go to sleep, because I had been molested at that first foster home by girls,
Okay.
and when I would go to bed, I would wake up what they call night
You talking
terrors.
not with Miss Parker though.
Yeah.
With Miss Parker?
So you gotta keep reading.
I've read all of Miss Parker.
No, you gotta.
I
Keep
got
reading.
all the way to.
So did you
Right
read?
here. See, that's why I said your stuff was so personal.
So did you
I
read
got
the part when
here,
I told her
And
that?
then I regained it to 160.
So go back and read the Parkers again.
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna have to
second part.
because
Because
was
I
the
because I
girls?
came out and told them about the nieces that were molesting me when I was.
okay.
You do remember that?
Yeah. When y'all, because every time they come over, you went into
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was
See,
graphic.
her book is so emotional, y'all,
I
and
was
we gotta
very
go.
graphic at that
We're gonna
time.
continue talking right real quick, but I just want to say thank y'all so much, and I hope we answer every question possible. To overcome anything you've been through starts with you. and it starts with you would you say?
Reinventing yourself. And can I ask a question to you?
Mm-hmm.
So, 12 months, 12 weeks. Can I come back in 12 weeks and show the transformation?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna have her
Alright.
back. Look, I'm gonna be out there with her now. I'm
Alright.
going to Richmond when you go to your
That's
first month.
actually in 4 months, but in the 12 weeks,
I want to
3
see.
months, I
I want to see.
Yes, I'll have
Yes,
a
we
six-pack
are.
and everything. I'll be whipping the shirt up.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, y'all. I'm
Bye.
gonna continue to talk.